Hello everyone, this is Joel the Minecraft teacher, and today I'm going to be following up on something I did in my last episode of teaching Minecraft, which was called Worthy Builders. It was a lesson plan I did with four of my classes, four of my second grade classes, where I tasked them, I gave them a number of building materials in these dispensers over here, and I tasked them to make four different houses out of different materials. And if they could do that, they would prove themselves worthy to enter the Great Desert over here and try to find the mysterious golden pyramid built by the ancient Minecraftians. So I want to show you what my different classes did, and then after that we'll take a look at the pyramid itself. So this was the second grade class, so 7 and 8-year-olds, called the 2A tails. One half of the group was heads, the other half was tails. And as you can see, they each made some cute little houses. This was their first building assignment outside of I'll talk about what this stuff is about in a minute. This was their first building assignment outside of my training world, my tutorial world. So this was their first chance to kind of show their own creativity. You can see a lot of them did rooftop gardens, which is a popular choice among the second grade for some reason. So they really had a chance to kind of do whatever they want within the confines of the lesson. You know, I did prescribe for them where they had to build and told them what materials to use, but other than that, they were free to do what they want and craft different items. As you can see, a lot of them chose to decorate with plants and other things, and it's pretty cute what they did. So after this world, I really opened the game up a little more for them and let them build whatever they want. But at this point, they were still learning, and I still wanted to maintain some sense of direction for them and some sense of purpose, and I really wanted to lay out where they should build and how they should build. So let's hop over. This is actually going to be to the other half of the same group. It's the 2A. We were just looking at the 2A tails, so this is the 2A heads. Now, this group was interesting just because of our schedule. I did not have nearly as much time with this group. With this group, I only had one real class with them to build in this project. So rather than, I kind of changed the fiction. Rather than having them build first and prove themselves worthy and then find the pyramid, what I had them do was go find the pyramid, see if they could get inside, pretend they were archaeologists, and then treat the treasures therein as if they would real ancient discoveries, real artifacts. And then I actually asked them what they wanted to do with those artifacts, and they had a really neat discussion. And what they came up with was to build a grade 2 museum. So, you know what? I didn't need to open that door because the kids figured out how to make pressure plates on the floor here to open and close the door. And, you know, I only had 40 minutes for them to find that pyramid, get inside, build the museum. So they didn't get to finish the roof or the second floor. But, you know, you can see they really had a good start. And so most of what's in these boxes here are treasures that they found inside the pyramid, which I'll show you guys in a few minutes. But so that was the 2A class. But I also did this project with the 2B class. So let's go look at the 2B class. The 2B class were the kangaroos and the koalas. So let's look at the kangaroos world first. And for this, we were able to do the project as I intended. So as I climb down the ladder, you can see it's another 4 houses made of the 4 building materials. Now, these guys did not concentrate quite as much on the decorative aspects of building. They didn't go for the roof gardens, but they made some really nice functional houses and decorated them in interesting ways. Well, that was not overly decorated, but let's see what else we can find. Home sweet home. Nice. So let's see. I think the group 1 over here. This is a group that it's Luke's big house that did the most. Where is that? Where's the door? Here they did. They kind of hit it around the corner. Oh yeah, they started developing a basement. And Leslie over here. So I think they started to experiment with redstone, but they didn't quite get what the purpose was. That's something I was going to have to show with them for another day, another lesson. But they found ways to use redstone decorative. I think the student that made this actually started referring to this as a carpet. So you can kind of see, you know, kids really have use their imagination when they're playing Minecraft a lot. I think that's one of the beauty of the simplified graphics. It's, you know, it's like reading a book. Your mind's eye fills in a lot of the missing pieces and fleshes out the world a bit. There's one more world to look at. So that would be the Tubi koalas. And they got a bit farther. They, if I recall correctly, how do I get down here? There we go. They got a bit farther. There were fewer kids in this class, so I only broke them into 3 groups, which means there were actually more kids per group than in the other classes. So they were able to do some neat things. You know, this was Ryan, Sydney, Kareem, and Sam's house. More treasures from the pyramids. Don't worry, you'll get to see the pyramids in a few minutes. They went around the world collecting flowers and planting them. Trees. The trees have all sprouted. It was kind of neat because if you know about planting things in Minecraft, when you plant a tree, it doesn't instantly sprout. It takes a number of days in the game progressing before the trees actually sprout. So, you know, it was neat. They oh, you can see over there. Those are what planted trees look like before they blossom into full trees. So it was neat to watch the kids sort of protecting their trees, making sure nobody came over and destroyed them, and kept checking to see if they'd grown into a real tree. And it was just so sweet to hear the cheers that went up once their tree actually sprouted, grew to life, and grew to full size. Alden, Peter, and Natalie's house. Some more redstone experiments going on the floor. So okay, so you get a pretty good idea here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what the kids did, what the kids experienced once I kind of gave them the green light and told them that they had proved themselves worthy to the ancient Minecraftians, that they could at last enter the sacred desert and search for the golden pyramid. Now, I cheated a little bit. I used the world edit to reset the pyramid on this map. I reset the pyramid back to its original configuration. So how you see it, how I'm going to go to it, and how you will see it is exactly how the kids first saw it before they tried to figure out how to get inside and got the treasure. So this is I actually chose this map. I chose this seed because it had a very large desert, and that was something I could work with. And so in my early experiments, the kids really just got lost wandering around trying to find the desert. So what I did is I added these kind of cool-looking pylons for them to follow, and it leads them right to the pyramid. Oh yes, this is the exact center of the world, because this is not an just completely open map. There is a boundary. There is an impenetrable boundary about 100 blocks out from the center of the world there, on all sides, just to keep the kids contained and focused. And you know, there's plenty of activity. There's plenty of things to do in this space, but I didn't want any kids just completely wandering off and getting lost. You can see a lot of the kids were practicing replanting cacti. These cactuses, cactuses, I guess it's cacti, were not growing like this at the beginning of the map, and they sort of figured out how you could replicate cactuses and keep growing them. So anyway, here is the pyramid. Now, most kids ran right up to it, and of course, because this is Minecraft, what do you do in Minecraft? You break blocks. So many of the kids immediately just started pounding away at the blocks and figured they could get inside the pyramid. And I'll show you what they discovered if they did that. Gee, I should have taken a pickaxe with me here. They found that underneath the layer of gold was a layer of bedrock, which is the hardest substance in the game. It is impenetrable, impervious to all damage with any kind of tool. So they had to find another way in. So they did some exploring. And again, in my early experiments, I actually had it a little easier to get in. Well, I don't know. It's not easier. It's interesting. Different groups of kids would find different things harder or easier. At one point, I had replaced a couple of these blocks with yellow wool. Was it yellow or orange? I can't remember. I think it was yellow. And it just sort of blended in. And all they had to do was find the right spot, break the wool. It was over here somewhere, and they could get inside. And it just seemed a little too imbalanced. Some kids would notice the wool immediately and just go right in, and there was almost no challenge in getting inside the pyramid, whereas other kids would just go around and around and around the pyramid at length and just never notice the wool. So I figured I needed kind of something else, something a little more balanced for the kids to find. So I ended up with these pillars, and at first glance it just sort of goes with the kind of Egyptian motif, and even if just peeking in. You don't immediately see anything, but I was trying to think of if you know what the entrance to King Tut's tomb looks like. It goes down. There's a passageway that was blocked originally. So I had the kids go down here, and they can start digging, and they break through, and then aha, there is something in here. So I would have the kids come in. At this point, if a kid made it in here, I would actually kind of stop the class and make sure that every single kid in the class realized that one of their peers had made it in, and we sort of gave that student the props that they deserved, and gave the other kids a chance to kind of catch up and come to the right spot and join in on the exploration of the pyramid. So again, they sort of a navigation challenge. They have to kind of figure out how to dig their way up here. And they finally get inside, and there is a staircase. And what do we have here? It's an iron door that cannot be opened. And it says, only teamwork will open this door. So the kids were understandably puzzled by this, and of course, what's the first thing they do? They start punching the door. Now, at this point, I had the mod World Guard in effect, and I actually protected most of the interior of the pyramid. So this the door was unbreakable. There was no way for them to get through. And also, just to tantalize them, here's a little step with a window into the mysterious treasure rooms, just so that they knew what the goal was, what they were trying to achieve. And again, this glass was unbreakable. It was again protected by World Guard. So I'll give away the secret here. What they had to do, which was hard to notice, was there's this kind of not so hidden, but not obvious floor plate that if you stand on, you can see that the door opens. And the kids would try to hit this and run in there, and no matter how hard they try, you can't get in there by running. And as it says, only teamwork will open the door. So yes, one kid would have to volunteer to hold the door open for their classmates, while the other ones progressed into the map. So of course, since I'm playing by myself right now, I'm gonna have to cheat again. I'm gonna give myself a magic compass of teleportation, which can actually make me pass right through the door. Went right outside the pyramid. Let me try to come back, and I should be able to go through there. Yes, so I'm through the door. And there is a sign, not so subtle. Again, I only got 40 minutes at a time with these kids. I gotta keep the things moving. I gotta keep it clear. But just so you can see, once they're through the door, for the purposes of being able to escape after the treasure room, and for the purpose of being able to get that last kid who, may have thought he was nobly sacrificing himself to let his classmates through. There is, in fact, a way to open the door from the other side to have that kid come through. So anyway, you come down here, keep following signs to the treasure room, and we find another floor plate. Because I noticed, again, in early experimentations, often, because I was experimenting usually with just 2 kids at a time, 2 or 3 kids, that one kid would make it through, and I even had one girl who just sort of said, "Aha, I made it through. Thanks, suckers. Thanks for helping me." Well, she didn't call them suckers, but she was just so excited to go on ahead that she made it to the treasure room and didn't go back and didn't let her friend in. So I didn't think that was right. So I thought it was only fair to have another one of these teamwork challenges to get through the doors. So even if you get all the way to the treasure room, you still you can't double cross your fellow explorers. You have to come with them, or bring at least one of them with you to get into the treasure room. So okay, I'm gonna teleport into the treasure room here, and I'll show you what awaited the kids. So this was just kind of fun to make. Here's the golden sarcophagus, which of course is not an actual chest. But if you click over here, I don't know. Can you tell what it is? Most of the kids couldn't tell what this was supposed to be. Maybe it was a little too abstract, but this was supposed to be the mummy. Here are the bones, arms, legs, and I had a head. And then here are the mummy wrappings, the string down here. And in the other chests are some of the treasures of the ancient pharaohs. Ancient Minecraftians, some golden armor, golden apples. Again, once the kids got into the treasure room, I was very strict about telling them that they could look but not touch. They were not to disturb the ancient treasures. That was the rule. That was the desire of the ancient Minecraftians, at least at first. And it wasn't just to torture them, and it wasn't just to tease them or be cruel. But one of the points of my lesson was teaching them restraint in an online multiplayer social environment, to teach them how to follow the rules and how to behave with certain kinds of social contracts in place. Kids are used to doing whatever they want with impunity in computer games and even online. I mean, all it takes is to watch how a middle schooler, a 11 or 12-year-old or 13-year-old goes on Facebook and says horrible things to each other. You know what? Darn it! If I can make kids think about their actions and try to enforce certain behavioral limits at a younger age. It's for 7 or 8-year-olds. It's a good lesson for them, and it didn't. I didn't do this too long. What I did is I actually had them sort of push their chairs back from the computer. We all faced towards the center of the room, and we had a discussion about what to do, how to treat these things, how nobody was just gonna grab as much as they could out of the chest, how they would maybe take turns one at a time, choosing items that they felt would be important to them or could serve a purpose in their home, or obviously in the group that built the museum, how to display them in the museum. And it was neat. The kids got it. The kids got it that this wasn't just a video game where they were it wasn't just, hey, you beat the challenge, you get the reward. It was we're a community, and we're sort of kind of living in a society with rules and a framework for their play. And so it was neat. The kids, like I said, the kids got it, and I think it was all the more meaningful kind of when they left the pyramids and went back to their houses, sort of triumphant and with something to, some rewards for their efforts. So that's it. That's all I wanted to show you. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me some feedback. Follow me on Twitter, Minecraft Teacher. That's teacher without the final E, so Minecraft Teach R. My blog is minecraftteacher.net, and I hope to bring you more interesting videos in the future.